Hi. Let's learn about joint tenants with right of survivorship, JTWROS. The term joint tenant with the right of survivorship refers to a legal ownership structure involving two or more parties for any type of financial account or another asset. When one of the co-owners dies in a joint tenancy with the right of survivorship, then the surviving co-owner automatically owns the asset. Each tenant has an equal right to the account's assets and is afforded survivorship rights if one of the account holders dies. A surviving member inherits the total value of the other member's share of property upon the death of that other member. Contrary to what some people may believe, the term joint tenant with the right of survivorship has nothing to do with being a lessee or tenant in a rental apartment. JTWROS is actually a legal concept that applies to individuals who own assets, accounts, or other types of property. It is a form of co-tenancy, which means both parties can freely use the asset as they please. A JTWROS is most commonly used between married couples or between a parent and their child. But it can also be established between parties who are not related. The creation of a JTWROS requires that the owners share what is known as 4 unities. A JTWROS cannot be created if any one of these 4 unities isn't established. The parties are then treated as tenants in common. The language must be extremely clear when a JTWROS account is created. For instance, Mr. X and Mrs. Y are to be designated joint tenants with rights of survivorship, and not as tenants in common. This is necessary because a joint tenancy is automatically assumed to mean tenants in common in certain jurisdictions. A joint tenant with right of survivorship differs from a tenancy in common. While each party in a JTWROS has a right of survivorship over the asset, those in a TIC do not have the same legal right. Unlike a JTWROS, there are several ways for parties to terminate a TIC. They include mutual agreement, partition action, or judicial sale. There are a number of benefits to entering into a JTWROS. Despite these advantages, this type of arrangement does come with certain drawbacks. Survivorship also provides the remaining party with other benefits in addition to avoiding probate. Surviving parties are allowed to continue using the asset without any interference from outside parties, including a deceased party's heirs. Financial strains can put a damper on the agreement, especially when one individual is doing their part. For instance, if one individual can't keep up with their financial obligations to repair a home or make payments on a mortgage, it could have a negative effect on the other party. Owning property on your own can put a strain on your finances. But you can lessen the burden by entering into a special agreement with someone else. Regardless of what route you take, be sure to consult a financial and/or legal professional to guide you. Here are 5 key takeaways. 1. A joint tenant with the right of survivorship is a legal ownership structure involving 2 or more parties for an account or another asset. 2. Each tenant has an equal right to the account's assets and is afforded survivorship rights if the other account holders dies. 3. A surviving member inherits the total value of the other member's share of property upon the death of that other member. 4. A JTWROS can only be established if the owners acquire the property at the same time, have the same title on the assets, have an equal share in the property, must have the same right to possess the entirety of the assets. 5. This agreement avoids probate but does not allow ownership to be transferred to a deceased individual's heirs. Hope this would help. Thanks for watching.